welcome back, Exiles. Ziggy D here once again, joined by Rise, Cutie. Welcome back, mate.
Hey, what's up, Ziggy? Hey, everybody else. Also participating and watching the races.
Yes, welcome back, folks. In just a few minutes, we'll be beginning the picks and bans for the grand finale Izaro Kill 2v2 race. Goratha and Waggle. Gorwaggle? Goraggle? Yeah, we still haven't come up with team names. Goraggle will be taking on Ventrua and DeadandDoom, which is like Dead and Ventrua, I guess.
Gargle.
Moburgle.
Yeah.
Something like that. Vendoom. Vendoom, maybe. Ventroom. I like Ventroom. We're gonna go with Ventroom.
Yeah, Ventrum's been working out, sure, and especially since they have been Ventruming quite a bit. It's been going well.
Zooming along in their races. Surely their insane RNG from the last race cannot be replicated in this race, and Goratha and Waggle will stand a chance against that nasty RNG they had. Surely.
Well, that being said, Goratha and Waggle did have a pretty good amount of nice unique drops, and were able to equip themselves fully with that Perandus chest spawning 3 exiles. So without that on board, it might just even out. Hopefully this time around Waggle's electricity won't be going out, and we can have a nice, fair, and long race.
Yeah, that's hopefully not what we need. Hopefully no
we don't
electricity
need a long
downtime.
race.
No, yeah, we don't need a long race. We just want an intense race. And with these players, I do not expect a long race. The last race was certainly very fast. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the banger tracks that we played in the downtime.
Yeah, I come back over with a meatball. It was in my mouth. The meatball was in my mouth.
I bet
and then I'd look over at chat and people are spinning heads. It was crazy. I absolutely approve.
I do enjoy some good head spinning. So it looks like we are just about ready to start the picks and bans. So we're gonna get people picking their heads or tails. Heads or tails. And since DeadandDoom is currently typing, he's gonna get a pick of heads or tails. Don't look at chat, Rise. I'm gonna need you to pick your heads or tails for me.
Okay.
Though I don't think you've picked tails once yet.
You're spoiling my pick.
Is it tails? Is it tails?
It's tails.
It's tails. Finally, we got a tails pick from Rise QT, the very biased coin flip. And DeadandDoom has picked heads, so they're going to be team 2. Team 2 is D&D team. So, with that said, let us move on over to the picks and bans. I believe I do not have the right... close enough. There we go. Scuffed cast. I had so much time to prepare and I still got it wrong. There we go, bro.
Nice.
Wait, is this right? Let me just double check. We have... Yes, this is right. Okay, we got the right one. Very good. The picks are not correct, though. Okay, we're going to be getting picks and bans. First ban will be going to Goratha and Waggle. It is going to be Slam. The first ban is Leap Slam.
It's basically Leap Slam, but without the double S, like Ziggy said.
Leaps Lamb is the first ban there. And the second ban from DeadandDoom, Team 2, is going to be Rain of Arrows. No
interesting again.
action.
Getting that Rain of Arrows countered. Wow.
I'm surprised it's such a hot topic, the old Rain of Arrows, because it seems to be highly gear dependent.
Well, that's the thing too. With them banning Rain of Arrows, what about that Blade Vortex? Is somebody going to pounce on that, or are they just hoping that maybe with the first pick they can get the Blade Vortex?
If I wasn't first pick, I'd probably be banning that Blade Vortex, which is what the strategy was talked about before. But we'll see what the next Team 1 ban is. With Leap Slam and Rain of Arrows out, the duelists, the melee characters, have gotten a little bit weaker in terms of speed. Waggle bans Blood Rage, interestingly enough. That's a new one.
Wow. That's very interesting. That's definitely going to be creating a lot of hype here. I wonder if they're coming up with maybe some unusual strategies, maybe heading on over and using maybe a Templar or something with these picks here. The secret strat, who doesn't have access to Blood Rage. I'm not sure.
And here we go. We called it. Blade Vortex has been banned.
Okay.
Gornskis.
Well, that was to be anticipated. I think Blade Vortex has been performing incredibly well against Izaro as long as you pick up enough defense. So, yeah, outside of that Roa, I would say that this is looking pretty solid so far.
Looks like Waggle is going to be picking Explosive Trap, locking himself in for that early skill.
Okay, again, locking himself in, limiting him to not being able to use Onslaught. Again, something that Waggle frequently complains about. I would imagine that this is Waggle who would be locked in it, not choosing for his teammate.
DeadandDoom is going to be taking Arc. And it looks like Ventrua is going to be taking Sunder, leaving one more pick left.
Wow.
Arc. Damn, a bit more Arc action.
Look at the pick from Goratha. The final pick will be Lightning Trap.
Whoa. Okay, wow. It's a strong skill. We have not seen it at all yet in any race, though. It's a strong skill that hasn't seen much use in a while. But it is a strong skill.
They must have come up with some sort of secret strategy here because their progression is going to be weird.
Whoa, yeah, super weird. Double trappers, too.
And especially limiting that Blood Rage, and both Goratha and Waggle seems to be a shadow. I thought maybe they're going to be doing something unique with possibly some Templar and Witch action, because Witch doesn't get Onslaught and Templar doesn't get Blood Rage either way. So they should be fine limiting themselves to these abilities, but no, they're on a shadow still, regardless of anything. Doesn't seem like they're going to be trying to build up some early defense with maybe something like a Mind Over Matter setup. They're just going for it. Lightning Trap, a ability that used to be utilized so much for racing in the past, but many feel like there's better options now.
Yeah, I'm super pleased with this, though. This is a very interesting grand finale here. We have Sunder without Leap Slam, so arguably nowhere near as powerful. We have Arc from DeadandDoom, which has had mixed opinions. Lightning Trap we have not seen at all yet, and Explosive Trap, the controversial early pick, but undoubtedly good for Izaro. Still, though, very, very interesting.
Yeah, possibly they didn't want to lock themselves into a no Onslaught Act 1, and honestly, with proper Flame Dash mobility, as long as they've got enough single target, which Waggle should be providing with the Explosive Trap, I think Goratha might just be able to burst through content. We're gonna have to see how this works out. I do anticipate a pretty strong start from Goratha here. Hopefully they're going to be able to gain that Act 1 advantage and just get through content as fast as possible.
We are seeing 3 shadows here. Goratha and Waggle taking both these shadows. That'll be for that Lightning Trap and Explosive Trap. And then we have Sunder, Ventrua on the Duelist, and DeadandDoom taking the Arc on his shadow.
Yeah, that's also very interesting. Something during the interview that Goratha and Waggle did point out was that they thought Arc was bad. They said that Arc wasn't looking great, and they tested it, and they knew that they're going to do well when they saw Havoc picking Arc, so they gained a lot of confidence through that.
I think Havoc's Arc actually looked pretty good, though. I think Arc definitely has some potential, and we're seeing a confidence pick for Arc here. And I wonder if this is like some sort of strategy they've practiced, or if this is the picks and bans didn't go exactly as they're anticipating. But super pleased either way that the picks and bans are actually super interesting for the grand finale here. Not just throwaways like we've had in some of the races leading up to this.
DeadandDoom tapping up
with no Blood Rage.
Yep. And then also Waggle typing out in the Discord, That feel when Goratha convinced me to ban Blood Rage when we already banned the Leap Slam, so a
Double.
little bit of a misunderstanding there. I think they were just worried because both of them are resulting in a Trapper, meaning that unless they have a source of degen like a Poison or an Ignite, they wouldn't be able to benefit and gain Frenzy Charges from that Blood Rage, so just trying to counter the other team.
Oh,
Very
really,
interesting.
really going in deep on penalizing the duelist as much as possible.
Oh yeah. They did, however, leave him open to use whatever he wants, so I'm sure we'll be seeing ground stamp from Ventrua as it is his comfort pick, and then a nice smooth transition straight into that Sunder, which so far honestly hasn't proven to be that powerful for this format of events through any of the stages of it.
Yeah, nothing super standoutish, and losing that Leaf Slam is certainly a big blow, but like you said, kind of nice that he doesn't have any duelist competition, meaning he can take that strong early game with Ground Slam into the stronger late game with Sunder. But again, no moves.
Oh yeah.
No move. Maybe some Whirling Blades action, possibly.
Yeah, that's going to be especially interesting. Who exactly is going to be doing the running? I mean, both Goratha and Waggle are locked out of Onslaught for Act 2. I don't know. I'm a little bit afraid for them. I'll be honest. With Ventrua and DeadandDoom showing so much prowess before, it's going to be interesting. And they're off.
And we are off. DeadandDoom slightly behind his teammate Ventrua. Not going to make too much difference there. But everybody is off. Let's see some kill action. See if we see any crazy RNG to start the race off. I feel like the way things have been going, someone's going to get a unique at Hillock or Brutus or something. I'm going to see some other uniques, I'm sure. We've seen so many
so far
today.
things have been crazy. For sure. We're bound to hit something crazy this race. Or maybe the direct opposite, or just nothing.
Nothing. Just like everyone stuck on white items for most of the race. That would be an interesting spin in itself.
Especially for these racers in particular. Some unique items, but nothing that's been standing out.
We didn't see a unique item. I think it was just crazy loot filter for Waggle there.
Or excuse me, rare items.
Yeah, a couple rares. No, some uniques off Hillock would be slightly notable. It's like only some uniques off Hillock. Wait, some? That implies more than one? One to begin with? Wow.
We do have DeadandDoom in this race, so why not? Just gotta dream big.
Yeah. Hey, I would be pretty hype about some uniques dropping off Hillock in a race. That would be rather insane.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a green red at the vendor for DeadandDoom who opts not to take it.
Plus one something, plus one cold for DeadandDoom. His freeze pulse is getting thrown right in that. Right off the bat, that's really nice.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely super useful. Unfortunately, I don't believe that it had a green socket, which means that he won't be able to utilize that frost bomb with the onslaught for it. But still, for the early game itself, it's pretty useful. And worst case scenario, they can always throw a chromatic at it. And the probability of it going 3 unusable colors is pretty low.
I've seen it happen though. I'm pretty sure I've seen it 3 red.
Yeah.
Can happen on those low level items for sure. Ventrua noticing that he was going to be going the long way there, so heads back around the other way for Tidal Island. All the other shadows opting to do Tidal Island second. I don't think we'll be seeing any sharing of Tidal Islands here.
No, I don't believe so. Although Goratha did have an unfortunately long...
yeah, he was in there for ages. Wow.
Yeah.
Only just getting the mudflats now. Way behind his teammate Waggle.
Ventrua fighting Hellreg, doing quite well with that ground slam, dodging all the projectiles and dealing, honestly, a lot of damage. Not exactly sure if he's got rings or what, but that is a very nice amount of damage.
Yeah, looks like he's got himself an iron ring there, so a little bit of extra bonus damage, but just playing the fight very nicely. Picks up his onslaught.
Oh, Goratha's dead.
Oh no!
Literally got hit and died.
Wow,
On a
stuck on a
freezing shrine.
I think he was trying to pick up the shrine himself, and there was a lot of rowers there. That's a big early upset from Goratha and Waggle, and certainly not what we wanted to see. To be copping a
That
penalty
is-
like that so early on. And he's getting shredded at that shrine again. Just leave it, man. It's not worth it. Don't die again.
It was worth it for him, okay? Maybe there was some inner plan. These sort of players at this level, keep in mind that these are the finals. These players have fought tooth and nail to get the status, these rewards, the prestige of the winner of these community weekend events. And I don't think he made a mistake there. I think that was just RNG manipulation as usual.
Yeah,
And
the death was planned. They had to
mere
die there in order to
commentators-
reset the RNG.
mere commentators such as us just simply cannot comprehend.
No, it's
How-
the strategies are too advanced, but
Yeah.
I think that it's nothing they can't come back from, but certainly a little bit of a deficit that they're going to have to work on for sure.
Possibly so. Maybe he was still tilted from that coast layout. Unfortunately, there have been recently added layouts that are just very, very unfortunately wrong. And if you just so happen to land on one of them, yeah, you're going to spend quite a bit of time getting through coast while you're watching the other players progress. For a second, I thought that was a gold rim dropping there for
Yeah.
Waggle, but no.
Waggle's unique is a little bit deceptive with those really bright highlighting. It's like I mean, that's what you want in a race filter though. Highlight those key base items. Just getting the right white items helps a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Getting those links, getting everything done. Hitting a nice blue packs here for Waggle as his teammate Goratha is fighting Hellrake. Everybody else progressing with Ventrua being in the lead, already past the ramp, leading up to ledge. No 5-minute ledges. Overall, everybody's doing pretty standard so far.
Well, standard except for that shrine upset. That was
Yeah.
a little bit non-standard, I would say.
No standard to us mere mortals, but pretty standard in the Goratha world. I think. I hope. Come on, Goratha, you can do it.
I'm not sure I understand, but I'll play along with that one.
We're playing checkers, Goratha's playing chess, okay? That's all I've got to say. And I mean, look at this lower submerged. That's an incredibly short layout. Just a minute ago, he was a full minute behind, and now he's just about to enter ledge. He's right there. He's gonna click it now. See? Amazing.
You might be a little bit ahead there, but there we go. You enters ledge. Gonna scare off some seagulls. There we go. And he's into ledge.
Oh yeah, nothing they can't come back from. I do think that Act 1 will determine a lot when it comes to this race. The only unfortunate part being that I do believe that they did plan around Goratha being the runner, and since he is unfortunately a little bit behind, that's going to make it extra difficult to get that early or earlier Brutus kill. As yeah,
you
has a
can't
little
have
bit
your
to
runner
catch up.
behind. That's not ideal it's not an ideal position for the runner to be in. They are trading now though, in the same ledge there a little bit.
Very nicely timed on the waypoint too, for sure.
So giving both Quicksilvers to Goratha, so he's going to go ahead and catch up a little bit from his little setback. And Waggle picking up an Essence of Contempt. Just going to use that to craft a rare item then, since neither of them are going to need the flat physical damage.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, it is a prefix that you do craft, but he's throwing it on his boots, and I think that was a mess.
Yeah, no move speed on those boots.
Oh, okay, it wasn't. It kind of looked to me like it was, but yeah, he doesn't seem to be moving faster. He did do the double check, but even an evasion pace of boots will be incredibly helpful. He gets stunned less. Uh-oh. Goratha.
No, Goratha, did you not learn? It's a little bit of a safer one this time. He's stabilized and he's got those Quicksilvers he can maneuver around, and only a Brutal Shrine, not the slowing of the Ice Nova Shrine.
Yeah, and that's an incredibly useful shrine because it will guarantee that you will be one-shotting, despite the fact that his Frost Bump isn't quite leveled up. I feel like he didn't fully utilize it. He could have killed a little bit more, maybe have a little bit better uptime on Onslaught, but I think he's simply focusing on progressing as fast as possible and then giving the wheel to Waggle past Brutus, who possibly will have more XP. Therefore, if Flame Dash is not banned, able to simply hop on over to Merveil. I do believe that Flame Dash wasn't banned, correct?
We can have a quick check, but I'm pretty sure Flame Dash was not banned. No. No ban for
With
Flame
Leaf
Dash.
Slam, I think Leaf Slam was the only ability skill ban. Okay.
So only the
Well,
Duelist getting punished a little bit there.
yeah. But that should be... The Duelist does perform the majority of the running in Act 2. Despite the split, he will still usually do the things that are more difficult just because of the extra mobility. But now it's a lot more comparable with the trapper setups of the opposing team of Goratha and Waggle.
Goratha getting a nice chunk of XP off a big pack of goats there, dropping the Frost Bomb right in the middle. Perfect, just keeps on running. That's what you want. An Artisan Strongbox for Ventrua. A good source of Blacksmith Whetstones, but opts to not go for it. Had a freeze prefix on it. And yeah, that can be a little rough to deal with. Certainly survivable,
That's scary.
But yeah, a bit scary. You don't want to be locked down with who knows what spawning around you. So it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk.
If you've possibly got a teleport scroll, then you can click the box and then TP out and that way avoid the freeze. However, these players, considering it's a party race, are so locked into those like specific currency rolls that they just simply can't afford to waste a portal scroll. So in the end, Ventrua decides to drop it, despite the fact that probably it might hurt him in the long run, as he is still looking to get as good weapons as possible.
Looks like Ventrua is going to be running the first of the trials there. Getting a nice clean run through the spikes. Manages to beat the spikes to the first lever.
I like the difference in the playstyle. I do believe that DeadandDoom just opened a box without even checking whether it was a freezing box. Didn't even ID it, but he is in Warden's Quarter. That being said, Goratha had an immensely slow, immensely fast prison. He caught up so much.
Wow. Yeah, excellent catch up right there. After being quite far behind in progression, to catch up to DeadandDoom as the runner is insane.
Okay, DeadandDoom does look like he just picked up movement speed boots though. He seems to, he's on my screen, he's jumping around a little bit. I'm not quite sure, but it does seem like he's slightly faster. Could be that Chesapeake's teleporting Ventrua in, while Goratha is about to TP his teammate in Waggle. Nice. Waggle picks up a... Ooh, Waggle picks up an iron ring. DeadandDoom and Ventrua fighting against Brutus here. DeadandDoom dropping a little bit low, but they still got the fight under control. The plank kite shield makes a return.
Is he gonna pick it up? Are they gonna pick it up? He picks it up. Yay! The old spring leaf comes into play. Excellent stuff. DeadandDoom going to grab that trial.
Well, in the previous race, the shield did make an entrance, so this spring leaf might be useful for Izaro himself. Well, but they really caught up really fast. I was hoping that Goratha and Waggle are really going to be showing how well they do in Act 1, but Ventrua and DeadandDoom are just keeping up so well, despite the possibly slight Act 1 disadvantage. But due to some fortunate turn of events, they did end up on a pretty similar time.
Looks like DeadandDoom did indeed get some move speed boots, but not only that, they have fire resist, 9 life, and 10% increased item rarity. So we might even see some more uniques there. But that's a nice pair of move speed boots to get early on.
Oh yeah, those are going to be super helpful, especially since, as you can tell, at this point, DeadandDoom is the one running. Before, it was both of them, whichever one would have gotten there first. Maybe they were still looking for the trial. It really depends on how the layouts went. But at this point, DeadandDoom's got both of the Quicksilvers, and he's doing the bulk of the progression, so those movement speed boots are making a massive difference here for them.
Yeah, and look at him go. He's going to be just blitzing through the zones now. The double Quicksilver move speed combo. Very nice. Killing the bare minimum, just taking some champ packs when he sees them.
Mm-hmm. And Waggle also picking up the traps. He is locked into explosive traps, so he did pick up those trap nodes, did get all the way over to trickery, and is now focusing on picking up those physical nodes so that he can scale his explosive trap to the greatest extent. Maybe even hoping here for in this prisoner's gate that yet again he's going to be getting, or their team is going to be getting a corrupted zone, increasing the amount of XP that they're going to be getting, and also a chance at maybe some useful Vol gems for our runner Goratha.
I would be psyched to see some useful Val gems make a play.
Hmm. Yeah, the Vol double strike would have been big, but then it wasn't.
But then it wasn't. It's like a pair of rare rawhide boots for Waggle.
Waggle fighting both of the unique bosses at the same time.
Oof.
Seems to be quite tanky.
Yeah, he's taking him down with that explosive trap action. He's out of
He's
mana,
out of
though.
mana.
He's trying to throw the trap, but he can't. He finally gets the trap out and manages to finish the boss off.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've got DeadandDoom already in caverns, pretty deep in, about halfway through, maybe even slightly more, as Goratha is entering caverns just now. Oh, DeadandDoom dropping low, getting nailed by a bunch of squid boys. Gets on out of there, and continues to live on another day, and tries to also optimize his run through this instance that, unfortunately for him, has a Haku, but does give an opportunity for Goratha to catch up a little bit.
And Goratha not too far behind in Cavern of Wrath, although he is kind of more towards the start, and looks like DeadandDoom is just entering Cavern of Anger, so about half a zone ahead of Goratha right now. Goratha just bypassing the essence, not going to be worrying about that at all. He needs to keep progressing, he needs to run. He's going straight to Merveil.
Oh yeah, Goratha unfortunately has had that pretty rough start so far, but to see him still play so well and not get tilted and just keep on going as the runner. Normally the other player would call him out, would be like, okay dude, I can tell you're tilted, maybe I should step in and do the rest of the running because you clearly can't really focus. Goratha's like, no, I've got this in the bag. He's continuing and keeping up with DeadandDoom quite well too, despite the circumstances, so that's really outstanding to see. And I'm sure Waggle is happy to have such a teammate that he can count on.
Getting some nasty hasted mobs there for a Ventrua. He actually opts to log out. He realizes I'm in a pretty bad spot, but also it is time to go join the Merveil fight with DeadandDoom, his teammate. So I was like, all right, well, that's fortunate because I was not really enjoying the fight that I was in right now anyway.
Oh yeah,
dealing with a lot
so
of
far,
exploded squids.
DeadandDoom still so far locked out of that explosive trap, which is definitely hurting their single target. That was part of why Waggle ended up picking that ability so that DeadandDoom wouldn't be able to deal single target damage with that one in particular. That being said, Ventrua still has pretty good single target with the double strike. Goratha still coming through. He is getting Merveil right now. We'll see if Waggle logs out immediately. Nice. That's always great to see. Finding that unique mob. Too. Yeah, it's finding that unique mob. He's half HP. You know, normally sometimes you're going to be seeing the other player going, okay, just give me a minute. I gotta kill this unique guy. No. Waggle listens to his teammate, logs out immediately. Very cool.
Gotta be ready to go at a moment's notice, joining the Merveil fight, making that whole fight go a lot faster. With 2 players worth of damage instead of just the one. We've seen in some of the previous races the player reaching Merveil will do like the entire first phase alone, but certainly the other player can come in and help them.
Very much so. And as Waggle exits to snapshot the second phase of Merveil, we'll be coming back in and have a much quicker phase 2 Merveil as she dies without even being able to teleport the second time. Awesome. Also dropping a pair of rare gloves that might come in handy very soon.
Looks like a little bit of trading going on there. One of the players threw another one, a fusing. Maybe like, might be able to link up a wand, perhaps. I think we're going to see that fusing on the wand and gets the 3-link. A little bit of a shake of the mouse cursor of excitement. Little jiggly mouse cursor, excited right there. So happy with the 3-link RNG. One single fuse.
Yeah, that's the big aspect. That's one of the biggest aspects when it comes to lightning trap leveling. At least in the past, it was to be at least able to have that 3 link +1 the second you get out of Act 1. Obviously, preferably get it as soon as possible. But now that Goratha's got his 3 link, he's got his +1 to lightning abilities. His lightning trap should be performing pretty well. But it's still a pretty big question mark, as we haven't seen it yet in this tournament.
Yeah, first time seeing lightning trap. I'm pretty excited. It is a strong skill. The sound effect on it is awful, in my opinion, but we don't have to listen to that, so not a big deal.
I love the sound effect. Lightning trap, one of my favorite abilities of all time.
Much prefer the satisfying whoosh of that fire trap. That's my jam.
Ooh. I see where you're coming from. Of course, some people are a fire trap guy, and some people are a lightning trap guy. I think all guys, whether you like the one or the other, it's okay. All right, don't just relax, everybody. We're fine.
Good to know, good to know. He's swapping over into that lightning trap action now, or actually just using the 3 link for a bit. Looks like he's not quite ready for that lightning trap. Still needs to level up. Looks like he's got one more level to grab.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he does not need to run the left side of the zone, so getting the XP here might be a little bit tough. He does spot that blue pack, so that should be helping him out quite a bit if he actually opts to kill it. There you go. Let's see. So far, Waggle is the person with the higher level. He is focusing on killing quite a bit more, as he does need to hit about level 13 prior to entering the Weaver zone. Otherwise, he will be running into the same problems Hobbit did in the previous race here. And once you've fallen behind on XP, that's a really big deal, and it's going to be holding back your entire team here. That being said, they're pretty neck and neck.
Yeah, just entering the zone for Goratha, only seconds after Ventrua, so managing to keep up, but he's going to have to do a little better than just keeping up. He's going to need to be a little bit ahead, since they are working back from that 1-minute penalty.
Well, DeadandDoom is already at Weavers, and he does seem to be higher level, but he won't really have much of an opportunity to do much outside of just, I suppose, getting far enough before Ventrua needs to TP him in for either Sins or Fidelitas.
Yeah, looks like DeadandDoom taking the opportunity, realizing Ventrua is going to take a little bit longer to get to Fidelitas to do a little bit of extra killing in Weaver's Chambers before moving into the actual boss fight. But looks like they're going to be syncing up that trial to the boss kill, like we saw in one of the previous races, which is a pretty smart move. Getting the Weaver down, getting that first phase done, as Ventrua finishes off his trial. The timing's actually pretty spot on. It's very good timing.
Waggle just barely now managing to hit level 13 right before Weaver's Chamber, hitting a big blue pack and also a shrine. That was definitely very helpful, as he was falling behind on XP a little bit.
Ventrua did not actually touch his trial, though, so he must be planning on going back in and touching it on the way back after the Weaver kill. Just waiting for his teammate to go through the portal first.
I think he was maybe a little bit afraid of those sparkers.
There we go. He gets his buddy to help him out, and then he's going to go. Looks like they're going to go run together for Fidelitas again, like they did in the previous race.
Very much
nice
so.
Companionship. Bit of company.
Oh yeah, Goratha and Waggle are doing the exact same strategy, so it's nice that these strategies are a little bit more fleshed out. In this final, ooh, a lot of sparkers. Ventrua dropping low while he's fighting a blue pack, but the Sunder's putting in work. Whirling Blades might not be the fastest, but they're still pretty fast, and Sunder's pretty good, at least when it comes to killing mobs.
Looks like it's still managing to keep pace with the double Quicksilver movement speed boots DeadandDoom, which is good to see. They shredding Fidelitas. He has one swing but doesn't hit, and they get the kill. Goratha and Waggle just a few seconds behind, about to take on Fidelitas as well.
We'll be seeing what sort of splits they're going to be performing here based off of the sort of experience that they have. DeadandDoom is heading on over to Oak, while Ventrua is running to Creighton.
So I'm going to be seeing some more Alira helping after the previous encounters with Izaro and seeing the presence of the bearers, especially the bearer statues, adding a lot of extra elemental damage in addition to those fireballs. So Alira proving to be the dominant strategy, which has not always been the past for Izaro. It's not always been the case in the past for Izaro kills.
Yeah, I would also like to point out that DeadandDoom is playing with Arc Trap, which also limits the usability of Onslaught. So taking a little bit of a different strategy to what Havoc did with a
Yeah,
self-cast Arc instead.
opting for the
And so
trap
far it's been
for
working
damage.
out.
Yeah, the damage on the arc trap looks really good. I think Goratha just upgraded into some 15 move speed boots. So
I do
very nice for him.
remember I do remember DeadandDoom talking prior to these races starting up a couple weeks ago. He did talk about how he does believe that the Lightning Trap arc does pretty well, and from the looks of it, a lot of other players were maybe even underestimating it while he was still believing in the power of the early game of that ability. So to see him perform so well, it does seem like he's got a little bit of an edge over everybody else, and he does understand that uh, this ability in particular can be used from just so early on.
Chat letting us know that Lab will indeed be resetting in just a couple of minutes, so the players
Oh
won't be making it
yeah.
there before the new labyrinth. Yeah, the race, the grand finale coinciding with a new labyrinth, so their previous experiences will not hold true. And I doubt they're going to have time to bring up Pee-wee Lab and see what they're in store for, so it's going to be a bit of an unknown.
Yeah, possibly. Maybe they're going to be frantically checking if there will be a new layout updated on PoE Lab, whether or not they can actually do the lab the way they want to.
Yeah, and the
I
Alira
see.
choice is not necessarily, as optimal then, but still probably
Mm.
the safe choice, getting those extra
Oh yeah.
resistances.
Oh yeah, I would say so, absolutely. If they've got the time to go for a Lyra instead of Oak, I think that's usually the better of choices. And yeah, they did switch up their strategy a little bit, having done Oak and the Kraken now. DeadandDoom is heading on over to Alira, probably will be putting up a TP for Ventrua, who is now heading to Northern Forest, while the other team is opting to, from the looks of it, kill Alira. And we
Wow.
have Goratha running the Crypt Trial.
There you go. Maybe realizing the lab is resetting and, it might not be the same thing, but still, an interesting choice. We've seen more people tending towards Alira in these kills.
Honestly, Goratha's and Waggle's single target is looking great. I think part of their... Oh, DeadandDoom with the Acceleration Shrine, by the way.
By the way.
By the way, just DeadandDoom things, no problemo. Even on a Trapper, he had said. But, that being said, Goratha and Waggle's single target is looking pretty great, and I think a big part of it is the Bear Trap that Waggle is supporting Goratha with, and just dealing as much damage as possible. They should be able to keep Izaro in one spot while also dishing out that increased damage whenever he is affected by the Bear Trap.
I do like the synergy of both of them playing different kinds of trappers and both getting the advantage of that bear trap debuff. So yeah, their damage is probably going to be pretty damn high.
Oh yeah. It's quite hard to track right now who's necessarily ahead of who in this situation. But it does seem like Ventrua and DeadandDoom are slightly ahead, with DeadandDoom just now hitting the ball, Ventrua logging out, and then probably split pushing towards the Volkill, while Goratha running the trial and Waggle hopefully getting to Northern Forest soon.
Doing a little bit of shopping in the meantime, making sure he has enough portal scrolls. That is good. We have seen players forget the portal scrolls, but stocking up on 3 there, so he'll have plenty to go, and he drops one at the roots for Goratha to be able to hit when he's done with the crypt. It's like we're all having a little bit of indecision about what his next plan of action is, though.
He is considering it. I do believe that he probably missed out on Oak. I'm not sure. I did see him run into the zone. I'm not sure if he actually talked to Oak about the Apex. Maybe he thought that he dropped the TP and then he ended up not dropping one. Definitely a little bit of confusion here. Maybe trying too hard to line up with his teammate, and just a little bit of a miscommunication is definitely costing them time right now.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get that to line up with the trial, but their timings that they'd maybe practiced and planned for didn't quite work out in this case. Things are always a lot of variables to account for, and he's like, okay, I guess I just gotta keep running. He doesn't want to have to move that portal scroll though, so he's gonna have to do a little bit of a dance with Goratha maybe, where Goratha goes and portals out and takes his portal first, and then they can swap over. Just gotta be careful
Oh
about
yeah.
when they move those portals.
DeadandDoom currently in caverns. It does seem like they aren't split pushing. Instead, more putting it on the shoulders of DeadandDoom as Ventrua is trying to either catch up in levels or level up in general to be the primary Act 3 runner and not having to necessarily kill nearly as much as he had to in Act 2.
Yeah, it looks like
Those
Ventrua
had
has
those early
fallen somewhere
plates.
between a level and a half to 2 levels behind his teammate DeadandDoom, so taking the opportunity to do a little bit of XPing from the looks of things.
Yeah, DeadandDoom was the player who was reaching those higher level zones such as Weaver earlier, and that will make all the difference. Those zone level differences in the early levels, especially if you're under leveled, is just such a big deal. Goratha is with Waggle now, both running the Vol Ruins. They're nice and teamed up. It does seem like their clear overall is pretty good. Somebody's making the calls here. Waggle absolutely going into the right direction. It does seem like it's a layout that is directly to the bottom. I like how they're supporting each other. Every time it seems like Goratha went the wrong way, Waggle will correct him. Now Waggle seems to be heading a little bit too far down. Goratha runs past him. He's like, no, homie, it's over here. And that was very cool to see that they're playing off of each other just like this. Maybe they should be doing more instances of just running together because that was really brilliant.
They say two heads are better than one, and having two sets of eyes and brains to get those zone reads and maybe, you know, come up with the correct route is probably going to help quite a bit.
Oh yeah, they definitely displayed it here, while Ventrua and DeadandDoom still more focusing on their synergy in terms of lining up their portals and waypoints and whatnot, rather than that team spirit there. That being said, DeadandDoom runs into a pretty bad layout. Not to his fault, it's just one of those, but he's making it all the way over to the Ancient Pyramid now. Or excuse me, to the next level of the Ancient Pyramid.
A little bit of contention in chat about whether Goratha and Waggle did the crypt trial correctly. Maybe one of them didn't actually get to go and touch it before the portal was moved, so could be a little bit of awkwardness for them to deal with there.
Well, it does seem like Waggle is rerunning it now. There are plenty of mobs dead on the way.
Yeah, so unfortunately missed out on that portal, costing him a couple minutes that he could be spending doing something a little bit more useful.
Yeah, Waggle clearly has already run this zone. It's almost as if he's surprised. It's like, oh, wait, I already opened this? So definitely, again, a little bit of miscommunication. Maybe the nerves are getting to them. There is a lot on the line for this tournament, and they are competing against the best. So that can unfortunately just intimidate you. And what's extra unfortunate, it was Waggle who didn't click the trial. Oh, no. He was the one running that zone. Very unfortunate.
Well, I was saying that portal dance was going to be a little tough for them, and looks like it didn't quite work out. Waggle now going ahead and talking to Oak.
Yeah, Waggle playing catch up here a little bit while Goratha's progressing. DeadandDoom and Ventrua just now taking down Vol. A very simple fight for them. They do seem to have a lot of single target damage, relying on that arc trap and the pure damage output of a boarding axe Sunder. Looking very impressive.
So we're going to see Ventrua probably farming City of San for a while here from the looks of things. DeadandDoom just grabbing that trial before he continues the progression, I imagine, unless they're planning on doing a swap over now. DeadandDoom is a higher level though, so him progressing right now makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Goratha's getting a little bit lost here. He needs to be hitting those bigger layouts. Hopefully he's going to start recognizing some of these more difficult layouts soon, as they are behind and they have that 1-minute penalty, but anything can happen in an Izaro race. We're going to be seeing whether Ventrua and DeadandDoom will still be aiming at that level 23, possibly level 24, or if they're going to be taking an even faster strategy and just heading on over to Izaro, maybe at even like something like level 21, with Ventrua being the runner and fully utilizing the Whirling Blades. That being said, DeadandDoom is the runner. Never mind.
Never mind. Yeah,
Never
DeadandDoom with
mind.
that level lead looks like he's going to be doing the running action here. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think we'll see a super early Izaro from them. I don't see why they would take that risk at this point, because that's like a huge risk to take in when you're in the lead already. Playing it a little bit safer
If they know they're
makes the most sense in an Izaro kill, I think, when there's such a huge risk to having copping a death.
Yeah, they did play it pretty safe last time. Again, for the most part, we've seen players head on over there at most around 21 or so, with I think the only exception being Gucci. For Goratha and Waggle, these levels were most certainly lower, so I don't think they're going to be taking risks here, but taking their time with it might also not pay off in the long run if Waggle and Goratha start taking risks here. But unfortunately, Goratha is still struggling with those layouts.
Yeah, it looks like Goratha and Waggle are in more the position where they might want to be taking risks of doing trying to do Izaro low level to try and catch up, because that might be what they need to do at this point. And they are a little bit behind. Looks like level 18, 19 roughly, instead of that level 19 to 21 that DeadandDoom is right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, they finally do reach Vols, switching up their flasks, preparing their gear. That being said, DeadandDoom and Ventrua are heading on over to get the oh, that's an interesting strategy to get the crematorium done. As DeadandDoom kills Piety, Ventrua enters his instance. Probably DeadandDoom guided him a little bit to go just the right way when it comes to the trial, and they are now both running it, as DeadandDoom is picking up a +1 wand.
Yeah, that's nice that you can take advantage of the fact that you've already explored that zone to be like, yeah, I went this way and Piety was this way, so go the other way for the trial. Oh, that discharge! He'd gotten low off some auto attacks and the discharge just finished him off. He looked like he got a little greedy there. He thought he could kill the rare before the rare would actually discharge, but no.
Yeah,
1 minute penalty for
part.
their team now. A little bit of an equalizing factor right there.
Yeah, those Flame Alchemists gain an ability to just simply blow themselves up as when they get to the lower amounts of XP, so HP. So if you don't take care of them fast enough, they might just hit you with a juicy Vol RF that takes them down and you with them.
Very nasty, but good for the spectators of the race, as that equalizes the penalty. So now it's just going to come down to whoever's able to get that Izaro kill first at this point.
With DeadandDoom entering sewers now and having to rerun the zone, hopefully Goratha and Waggle can synergize a little bit better when it comes to the sewer portaling, like we've seen in the previous races. Goratha seems to be the player to be making the progression too, with that double Quicksilver still.
Looks like they're still a little bit behind in XP though. Waggle just hitting level 19 now, so to be trying to catch up a little bit in XP. That means their Izaro kill might be a fair bit riskier than Ventrua and DeadandDoom's if they end up going in a bit earlier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wow, Ventrua picking up a ton of different weapons here. Wonder if any of those are actually useful.
Surely one of them is going to be useful, right? He's got his choice there. He can start an armory.
Ventrua checking for rings while also running. Does this mean that he's going to be making his way over to the sewer, trying to XP there, possibly collect the busts for both of these players? I'm not exactly sure. He's definitely abandoned the farm in City of Sarn and now is just trying to... I'm not exactly sure what he's trying to do. Maybe simply just open the sewer and get the waypoint.
Didn't get an opportunity to get a portal of DeadandDoom to open the grate, so he had to do it himself. And now dealing with a lot of exploders in the sewers as well. DeadandDoom just left him behind to deal with those, even knowing that his buddy just died to one.
Yeah, that's pretty scary, honestly. This is one of those zones where you want to reduce the amount of risk as much as possible by running as little as possible, but to see them both run the zone separately might cost them another 1 minute penalty here.
And that is not how we've seen them do it in the past, too. In the past, they had ran it together, hand in hand,
Oh, yeah.
you know, joyously skipping through the sticky sewers, but, sticky, moist sewers. But, no, not this time around.
Hmm.
Hmm.
A little bit confusing as much as it is. It did seem to work out. Possibly DeadandDoom simply did not have a portal, and now he has been TP'd in to the marketplace waypoint, and Ventrua is making his way over to the battlefront, where they probably will be splitting up yet again.
Goratha and Waggle opting to run their trial together here, then maybe heading on over to Piety together as well. Not splitting up to portal, probably a little bit too much portal juggling at this point, considering it's the same zone.
I do think so as well.
We do see Goratha log out, so he might be going to immediately go to do something else and we'll just get portaled over. Or they might have hit Piety first from the looks of things. Yeah, they hit Piety first.
Right. No, still not that far behind, but they need to somehow make up this time here. This is getting a little bit rough. I don't know. We might need an equalizer in Izaro performing a double kill here if this keeps on going, because the synergy between Ventrua and DeadandDoom has been great so far in this race. Especially the way they've been adjusting themselves to very unusual situations, like we've seen before with Ventrua running the sewers.
Would you say that it's about time to spin the wheel? Just kidding. Wrong race.
Got me debated, that's for sure. Goratha and Waggle running together. Both unfortunately misreading the layout. The synergy that we talked about before didn't quite work out here. I believe they're going to be running all the way to Marketplace, with one of them going on over to the trial and the other one progressing to Battlefronts, at which point they're going to be splitting up again. But instead opting to actually pick up the bust. Actually, only one of them picks up the bust. Only Goratha picks up the bust and Waggle neglects it. I think they're having an argument here.
It's not worth going for the passives. It's absolutely worth it if they're in your path. A little bit of a debate going on right there. Yeah, Waggle is determined, but Goratha is doing it. Maybe they're just trying to split up, take the separate routes, and maximize that XP, because they're both feeding each other XP right now. And if they're killing two separate sets of packs, then maybe it's okay if one of them is, you know, not getting the extra passives.
It's never okay for only one of them to be getting the extra passives, I think. But they did get unlucky, so Waggle wins the argument, I think, here. Yeah, Goratha drops the bust. Waggle takes this one home.
This is where the most annoying "I told you so" comes out, and Goratha is just fuming, I imagine, in my made-up lore in my head.
He's absolutely fuming. Ventrua coming in and going on over to the waypoint, while DeadandDoom's trying to sync it up with, I believe, his Ducks run that he just finished.
Yeah, syncs up pretty nicely. Heads over and grabs his infernal talcum powder as well. I'll be ready for some sewer cleaning.
Getting ready for some sewer cleaning, but that is going to be the last trial. They've done every single one prior to this, and soon we'll be heading over to the labyrinth, while Goratha's still running the second to last trial, and Waggle is progressing over to Battlefronts. They're gonna really need some magical crits from Izaro, or just simply better layouts. How are those levels looking, Ziggy? I do see that Goratha has now hit level 20 in a level 27 zone, so it's taking quite a bit of effort from him to even be getting any experience out of this.
Yeah, Goratha and Waggle are both struggling on that 2021 kind of wall right there. Meanwhile, Ventrua is solidly at 21, and DeadandDoom is flying ahead at 23.
Oh, wow.
Being hard to carry a little bit. Get a little bit of an extra safety rack. And we can see that reflected in the HP pools as well, with DeadandDoom having almost 340 HP. Ventrua only having 400, which is actually a bit of a liability. He's going to want to see if he can maybe get a gear upgrade or two. Waggle's looking alright on 440, and Goratha is at 370, also a distinct liability.
Oh yeah. Well, that's going to be very interesting on how exactly they go about this. We did see previously from Ziz that doing lab with 300 HP isn't necessarily the best of ideas, but they don't have like really face tanky builds. Honestly, they do have that range advantage, so as long as they can dodge all the projectiles, they should be okay.
Here's a question that you might know the answer to. Does Shadow get Decoy Totem?
Shadow does not get Decoy Totem. However, Duelist does.
So Ventrua will be providing a bit of an advantage for their team with the Decoy Totem action making a big difference in the Izaro kills, I think. And Goratha and Waggle will not have access to that rather useful boss killing tech.
Oh yeah, and you can also see the pickup of the blind and Orb of Storms from DeadandDoom preparing up something that they did not have in the previous race. Despite attempting it, they simply did not have enough intelligence to equip the Orb of Storms, but it does seem like this time around they've got just enough, and they're going to be able to blind Izaro, which makes him miss a lot more often, and for the most part, he only uses attacks, so that's incredibly
Looking at
efficient.
Ventura's gem juggling right now, he did manage to pick up a full-length pair of gloves,
Ooh.
which he has got his Sunder in, right colors and everything. Very, very nice. Looks like he swapped in some faster attacks there, potentially, instead of that onslaught. Just going for
Oh yeah.
maximum big boy DPS right here.
That's going to be doing a lot of damage, especially considering that broad axe, whether or not it's rolled, a 4-link makes a pretty big difference. It does
Yeah.
seem like they're trying to pick up some alterations here. Maybe they're looking to... Oh, they're looking to get a support from Act 2. I was possibly thinking maybe they were considering a hatred with DeadandDoom not yet hitting 24, actually.
The
Okay.
Broadaxe is indeed rolled with 22 IPD, some added fire and added lightning damage. Nothing too incredible, but still,
Okay.
that damage on a Broadaxe is going to be pretty substantial on a 4-link for sure.
Oh yeah, I think so as well. Absolutely. Waggle and Goratha syncing up a lot better now, but unfortunately they are still behind and they need to run the last trial as Ventrua and DeadandDoom enter the lab. We're going to be seeing if Ventrua can perform here and just do enough with his measly 445 HP. That's looking a lot better than what it was before.
Yeah, it's picked up a bit, but still a little bit scary, and we don't know what Izaro we're going to be encountering because the labyrinth has indeed reset. It's going to be a bit different. Could be easier than the last ones, or it could be worse. We'll see. I think the last Izaro was pretty nasty, being swords and pretty much the bearers that you had to deal with. Like, you could not kill the statues in the bearer phase at this level.
Oh yeah,
So,
and also in the previous kills, everybody opted to look for those dark shrines and open them up and just reap the benefits. As for this one, they are also looking for the benefits, but I'm not sure if the lab reset. It does seem to be the same one. Or so far, the layout at least has been the same.
I think the zones look rather similar, and the normal lab is fairly simple, so you get a lot of similar layouts, but apparently for the boss, and we're about to get into the first trial here, we might be having lieutenants and gargoyles. I think the gargoyles are a little tough to deal with, aren't they?
They take a little bit of time, but it's a lot better than something like possibly Conduit.
And
So,
Izaro is that a hammer I see in his hands? That is a hammer this time around.
mhm.
Much safer than the swords. Much easier to dodge the hammer slams than it is the wind slashes. So,
Oh yeah.
especially at a bit of a range. So the player's going to be feeling a lot more confident going to this. That said, Ventrua does eat a slam. Eats the leap slam from the hammer.
If both of the lieutenants pop up at the same time, it's going to be a little bit tricky. That Orb of Storms putting in a lot of work. Ventrua dropping a little bit low while also not having that many flasks either. We're going to be seeing whether or not they can actually deal enough damage for this. Oof, Ventrua
Ooh, a little close there.
evading.
Even the lieutenants being rather tanky to deal with at this level. And taking a
Oh yeah.
while for them to work them down, but they are starting to get them killed. First one goes down, and the second one goes down there. I think the third one died off screen a little bit earlier. So now they're
Yeah.
free to finish off Izaro, and first phase looks like it's going to be a win for them.
And that was pretty smooth too.
Yeah, that was not too bad at all. So it's going to come down to the second phase as to whether anything crazy is going to happen, because if they have a successful second phase, then third phase is going to be easy peasy.
Waggle struggling a little bit running the last trail. The unique mob is sitting on him.
Oh, he just gets that portal there. The dart's slowing him down. Leaves the unique mob firing at the portal as Goratha goes in and out. Manages to duck in and out before anything happens though. Some fast portaling action.
Yeah, let's see how fast Waggle and Goratha can get the final trials done here. Waggle does pick up the last trial with Goratha seemingly ready to enter the lab. It does seem like he's figured out very fast. DeadandDoom and Ventrua absolutely took a lot longer to figure out their finalized gear. Waggle simply looks at his gear, vendors something, goes, okay, and then goes in. I think that's a 101 impression of Waggle. He literally probably went, okay. DeadandDoom!
Oh, so close. Oh my god.
Almost dying to those traps. Going in with just one half-empty potion. This might be a little bit tricky, and he's probably shaking already from that very low drop.
Yeah, just abusing his potions there right at the end due to the traps makes this next fight a little bit more exciting. And the gargoyles are being channeled, so they're going to be wanting to focus on those gargoyles. They do not want those up in the final fight. The damage looks like it is going to be just good enough to... No! The gargoyle gets activated.
It's
DeadandDoom taking a lot of damage too.
They can't quite keep up. I think we're going to have two gargoyles up at the same time. Their damage is looking good, but it's not looking good enough.
It's just not enough. It's not enough, and with the delay in getting to that second one where they dealt with the first one, they're both of those gargoyles have been activated, and they're ready for the third one. They're ready, throwing their traps, getting ready. I think they'll get this third one down. I don't think it's gonna get activated.
That decoy totem putting in work. DeadandDoom getting hit by yet another leap, but he knows that he's not going to be dying from this, so he simply focus on it, keep that decoy up, make sure that they don't run into it, keep the blind up also on Izaro, adding that extra safety. And it's looking pretty solid here, unless some major mistakes are being made. I think they might have it. If DeadandDoom doesn't die to traps running, which was pretty close.
I'm disappointed we haven't seen any trap deaths. Izaro himself has secured plenty of kills, but none of his machinations have done so. Waggle and Goratha is starting their first aspirant's trial now. First fight is going to be going up. They're working on the lieutenants. The damage is looking pretty good, but their health, not so much. And Goratha on 415 almost dies to what looked like a slam there. Waggle as well only on 467. Neither of them capping out that 500 HP. A little bit scarier for them. A little bit scarier.
Those lieutenants, their damage isn't quite looking good enough. It did seem like in those other fights they were a lot more controlled, where they could fully utilize the bear trap for controlling the boss. It was better, but here, this is a little bit of a mess with both players being split up and not quite able to force any of these mobs into their trap chains.
Yeah, there's just too much going on for them, and they're not able to, just really dump traps on Izaro while keeping him bear trapped. Not able to sync things up just quite nicely enough.
Waggle just narrowly dodges being helmet right there. Ooh, almost eats his son.
Looks like Ventrua and DeadandDoom running through probably their last little section of the labyrinth before going to their last trial. And the final fight. No, they have one more zone to go. Come on, Goratha and Waggle. You guys gotta do it. Time to pull out some extra DPS if you've been hiding it away somewhere.
Yeah, it's interesting. It did seem like overall they should have the stronger single target with the nicest synergy, but Izaro is just running rampant, and both players playing Shadow, they don't have access to a decoy totem that would allow them just that little bit more of a strategical positioning.
Two gargoyles got channeled to completion in the last encounter. Does that mean we see gargoyles in the final fight, or is that not how the gargoyles work on this one? I can't actually recall for the gargoyles. Looks like there aren't going to be any gargoyles, so as long as they get those kills, I think it's fine.
Yeah, as long as they take care of the gargoyles, even if they did pop up initially, they shouldn't be there.
Yeah, that's fairly forgiving mechanic then. This is definitely a lot easier Izaro fight than the last one. The last one was a little brutal, and we did see plenty of deaths as a result. But it looks like Ventrua and DeadandDoom dealing with the final Izaro phase, which is much more chillax. very nicely. Able to just let Izaro slam away on that decoy totem, even taking some of the fireballs away from them. Ventrua goes a little low, but nothing too concerning. They've both got flasks ready and active. Izaro's health is steadily declining.
Oh yeah, you can absolutely see the difference here between this Izaro and the one from the previous races with the swords. He seems to be a lot more controllable. Does focus on that decoy totem. His attacks are a little bit slower, which allows you to just burst him down that much faster.
And I think it... Ooh, Ventrua going very low to fireballs. That
no
would have been
flasks either, Ventrua, come on!
Oh! Izaro, go Izaro!
Oh.
No, a well-deserved victory. Winning with 93 life remaining in his health pool. He's going to go ascend with no flask there at the end. And he ascends to Gladiator. Perfect choice, I think.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty close.
And just the one death with the team,
one
as we
death.
saw.
Yeah,
So
equalizing
equalizing the penalty with the other guys. Very nicely done. That very handily secures them another grand finale win for Dead and Doom. Ventrua with the 2v2 team win here with Dead and Doom. Fantastic work from both of them. Very nicely done.
Absolutely. So I think a lot of people have thought that they're going to be the ones who have an advantage. And honestly, the other players have absolutely put up a great fight. But it wasn't quite enough. That being said, Goratha and Waggle picking up a diamond.
Yeah, they want to go out with a bang here, picking up a diamond shrine. Let's see some crit trapper DPS on this next Izaro fight here. Goratha and Waggle doing a damn fine showing this weekend. And making it all the way to the semifinals. And only just finishing a little bit behind Ventrua and Dead and Doom here. And they're going to do so in style. Looks like they're ready to shred some gargoyles here, I reckon. With those double diamond shrines.
Yeah, this is more of the damage that I was anticipating from them without the diamond shrine. And honestly, looking at the crit damage, it is maybe even better than what Dead and Doom and Ventrua had. But obviously, this is what a crit shrine... Oh yeah, it's absolutely better.
Yeah, one player alone can take down the gargoyle, whereas Ventrua and Dead and Doom struggled to kind of get them before the channel was done. But that is, to be expected with a diamond shrine, I would imagine.
Oh yeah. I mean, the biggest difference being that the gargoyles aren't necessarily moving initially, and I think that's been what's been causing them the most trouble. They can't quite synergize to be playing together. One's above, the other one's below. And they can't quite push Izaro to run into those traps as he's chasing one of the players. The bird trap hasn't been enough to just control him properly.
No, Izaro does not care about the bear trap. He's like, yeah, no. I'll take your debuff, but you're barely going to notice any slowing effect. I'm just going to jump around anyway, doing the leap slams with the hammer, so he's not worried. There we go. They get this second kill very nicely done. No one really dropping too low in that fight. And putting out some serious damage with that diamond shrine. They'll be moving on very soon to the final kill, I'm sure, without upset, securing their ascendancies as well.
No way to jinx him over here, but it does look like that. I like how immediately they slow down. They're like, oh, okay, we're going to wait for this fire now. Ziggy called us out. Have to relax a little bit. Opening those levers. Goratha getting a little bit ahead of himself. His teammate
is burning to death. Waggle's going to burn to death, and he does. He burns to death. That was not expected. He got a little confused by the gauntlet there. He thought the lever would open the door, got very confused when it did not. And he's like, wait a minute, why is that door still locked? And Goratha just kept going.
What now? Do they have to exit? Can they finish it separately? Would we count the Goratha finish? I think so.
I believe both players do have to ascend. I guess I don't necessarily have to ascend at the same time.
I did say that Goratha is the one getting ahead of himself, but in the end, it was Waggle.
That was very ahead of himself there. I almost feel like I think Goratha had to hit another lever to open that door for Waggle, but Goratha was just gone. He was not there. And then Waggle was like, should I run back? No, there's not enough time to run back. I'll wait for the door. No, the door's not going to open. All right, I burned to death. The slow, inevitable death. Ouch.
as Havoc points out, it's in the rules. Only one person needs to finish the race, and Havoc says Goratha can finish solo since it's 2 players HP, which
Oh,
absolutely
okay.
makes sense. If he's
Interesting.
capable of doing it, I mean, all the pressure going over on Goratha, but I do like that little bit of an interaction where Goratha is like, "Uh-oh, I didn't open the thing," and then Waggle's like, "I got you, buddy. Let me help you out real quick," and then he burns to death as Goratha just runs
He
past
burnt-
every single lever to be clicked.
He burns to death for his teammate. What an absolute legend. The sheer sacrifice on this lad. What an absolute unit.
Well, the Diamond Shrine all of a sudden is looking a lot worse, considering that we will be seeing a Lightning Trap 2-player Izaro kill here.
No bear trap for Goratha either. Waggle was the bear trapper.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's gonna be extra tricky. It does seem like Goratha is like barely dealing with the blue mobs here. Hopefully, it will be enough.
I think Goratha's got this. I think he can do it. It's going to be a very tough fight on the high HP. He's got the diamond trying to help him out a bit. But I think with some excellent play, I think he can do it and secure the victory. Waggle running just as a bit of a safety net in case Goratha does fall. Well, I don't know if that counts.
I'm not exactly sure either, to be honest, if he won't be forced into exiting. If Goratha were to fall, but I mean, why would he? Right? Why
indeed? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. It's going to take a little bit of finagling, but I am going to try and full screen these two. I think they've deserved a little bit more of a deep showcase.
See you
Sorry
guys
about the
in 30
flashbang.
minutes. Oh no.
Not going to take that long. I'll fix it.
I believe in you, Ziggy. You can do it. That
this
being
doesn't
said,
look-
Goratha's dropping low here.
I don't want to miss it. Here we
Getting
go.
a little bit wrecked and shreked, but he's got it under control so far. Still, again, friendly reminder, he is sitting only on about 400 HP, which isn't a whole lot, you know? If you're running lab, for the most part, you want like 700 at least to have a pretty secure run. 400,
Yeah, I'm normally going for around that amount, and here we're saying in these races 500 is kind of what they're shooting for. 400 is certainly even lower than that, if my math is correct.
Oh yeah, oof, Waggle. Waggle almost ripping, but nah, he's got it under control. Running
Waggle's
away
health has been
with that
bouncing
Sunder.
around.
Well, Goratha seems to be struggling with the layout here a little bit. He's still trying to get to the next zone, to that final fight. But as long as he can manage his flask properly, we should be seeing a kill here. However, honestly, from the looks of it and from the DPS, he might be running out of mana flasks. I'm not exactly sure.
Ooh, that could be a little tough. Goratha running into the silver door there. He's like, I'm not here for loot, I'm here for glory. And he wants to get that Subooty, so
oh yeah,
he's going to be pushing on.
Oh, he's
Goratha, no! You have to do this.
Again, he is about 12 levels under the zone, so that's a pretty big difference. And you can see that even those white or blue mobs can be quite scary, you know? But I do believe that he reaches the final...
Couple nasty guys there. Here we go, the final trial for Goratha. Waggle cheering him on. He's like, you can do this. I got this. I burned for you. You better not waste this opportunity. You've got one shot, one opportunity.
I burned for you. Well, I don't know if those words are particularly encouraging.
I burned alive for you, so don't waste it.
Yeah, but this is the tricky part where if Izaro is using Sunder, you want to be making circles around them, but the best possible case to be dealing damage for Goratha here would be just pulling him through the traps directly. As he's trying to frantically do that, he's also dodging the big slams, and sometimes also not dodging them. But it does seem like Izaro's casting quite a bit of ads, which allows Goratha to keep up his flasks, I think, well enough to be able to do this.
It's actually going to help a lot with the mana, especially.
Ooh,
he's doing really well so far. Only a couple fireballs have hit him.
Coming through with the Sunder counterplay. Every time Goratha lines up a bunch of traps, Izaro just goes, nah, I'm not going to walk over that, and just Sunders them down.
Forces Goratha to move away off to the side. Yeah, intelligent plays from Izaro here. High IQ Izaro.
Oh yeah. He's not having any of it. Well, again, do keep in mind that this is 2-player HP, everybody. Some people might be looking at this and think
How
that
is this
obviously
damage
this
so
strategy
bad?
might have been flawed, but you know, maybe it isn't the best of strategies, but it's still 2-player HP.
The Diamond Shrine is not quite enough to counteract the 2-player HP. 1 player with the Diamond Shrine at this low level with no crit multi is not 2 players worth of damage.
Oh yeah. Especially since they did kind of have a setup that synergized with each other really well, with Waggle offering that support through the berry trap, increasing the damage of Goratha, but now that his friend has burned to death, there's a lot less that he can do here.
It is a shame that Waggle was not able to just like throw his bear trap through the grates right before he died, right before he burned to a crisp. When he realized his death was inevitable, could have maybe just passed the bear trap off to Goratha, but
I do enjoy how Waggle casually is just like going through here with the higher amount of single target. All of their gems just fully leveled up. Everybody's under level. They can't click anything. I don't know. At this pace, Waggle just might catch up. But to be honest, Goratha's slowly taking him down. He's definitely past the 50% mark.
he's doing it. He still has not been hit by that hammer. Just the fireballs have been the only thing Izaro's been able to touch him with, and you can tell at this point, by the look on Izaro's face, he's getting frustrated. He's getting a little bit tilted by this fight. I would be too. This annoying shadow just constantly buzzing around me, throwing little annoying sounding traps at me. Like I'd be pretty tilted as Izaro right now. Oh, Waggle does unfortunately go down in the background there. It's gonna be all up to Goratha at this point.
Can Goratha do it? Waggle did die again. Let's see. He's taking him down. Izaro is pretty low. It does seem like Goratha's got the right strategy now. He isn't really focusing on damage. He's just trying to kite around.
He's not getting greedy with the last bit, that last sliver of HP. It's easy to get greedy, and Goratha is not, though. He is cool, calm, and collected, and now he is ascended.
And immediately just turns off his timer so that we can't see what happened. I believe it was a 105.25 or so, but he's just like, no, don't look at me. I just woke up, okay? I don't have my makeup on. Get out of here. Turns it off. But still a very successful run, I think.
Very nicely done. Goratha finishing off their starting run there after his teammate burned to a crisp. And successfully getting the kill there. Congratulations to Goratha and Waggle for securing their kill there and their ascendancy and their right to, I don't know. What do you, I don't know where I'm going with this. They're cool people.
I was gonna step in and maybe throw in a casual comment, but at some point I was just like, oh, okay, he's on his own on this one, like me with that.
You were supposed to save me. I was in the fire and you let me burn to a crisp. Why did you do this?
Hey, but now I'm way more motivated to do better in the future, Ziggy. So
excellent. Very good stuff. I hope you guys have enjoyed the community racing action. Congratulations to Ventrua and DeadandDoom for securing an excellent and well-polished victory there. They just looked so good throughout all these Izaro kills here. And I do see them popping into a nearby voice chat. Does that mean we could potentially get them in here for a little bit of a chat? A bit of a post-victory speech, perhaps?
Don't even ask. Drag him in.
Yeah, all right. I'm not even asking.
Blame.
Okay, it's your fault. By the way, guys, you guys are in the interview room now. I don't know if you wanted an interview, but RiseQT had the idea to just drag you in here. But nonetheless, welcome and congratulations on your victory, guys.
Thank you.
What are you guys' first thoughts on your, I guess, set of Izaro kills here? Both of them seem very solid.
Yeah, I'm very especially happy with the second one. The first one went all right, but the second one was definitely really good. We had a better time with worse kills, so I'm pretty happy with that.
I was so surprised that they decided to ban Blood Rage. I don't think Blood Rage does anything in this round. It's like 20 seconds safe or something. They should have just banned Whirling Blades or Sandra.
Yeah, it was a bit of an unusual selection of bans and picks. Do you guys was this a strategy you guys had thought about at all? Especially the lightning trap was the first time we've seen that at all in any of the races.
Yeah, we haven't seen that coming at all. We are so surprised. Like, I don't know if Goratha like practiced it and thought that it's decent or something. I don't know. It just like seems like it doesn't have single target at all.
As far as I know, Lightning Grab is just the worst arc trap in both terms of clear and single target.
They did call it out that they thought that Arc isn't going to be performing particularly well, so they didn't believe in the Arc Trap. I don't think anybody really believed in the Arc Trap, but you've always said good things about the Arc. Do you think that in the end it was the right choice, or maybe you could have gone for something else?
We did a practice run on Arc, and like it was really good in the previous lap, and even in this lap it was fine. Like there is just no reason why it would be bad, and it's really good for clear. Like you never fall behind on EXP on Arc, which is like so good in party races.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Arc is the second best skill for Shadow, other than Blade Vortex.
For an Izaro kill in particular,
Yeah.
or even for like a Vol kill?
For a Val kill, you probably just go Explosive Trap instead, but for an Izaro,
Right.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. So overall, pretty happy with your time. Yeah, it definitely did look a lot better. Did you guys take into account the fact that obviously one of you wouldn't have access to Onslaught and kind of based your strategy of progressing through Act 2 based off of that, or did it just like magically work out?
We just decide based on levels usually, like based on levels and number of TPs.
Okay.
Yeah, generally Ventrua runs the long stuff unless he's too low level. This run we got good density, so that didn't really happen.
So that is the decision making that you're making on the fly, because oftentimes I would hear DeadandDoom talk about how a Shadow is just much better overall for Act 1, but I'm not sure if it was in this race or the previous one that you did have a duelist running for the Merveil kill after Brutus.
Yeah,
So was that just a matter of RNG, or?
I was level 9 after Brutus, and I think DeadandDoom like barely hit 8, so we just decided to do it that way. And I also didn't manage to do the trial, so he like farmed and then did the trial instead. And it just worked out better, because I got Leap Slam like really early into Ship Graveyard.
Yeah, Leaf Flame is really good for Cavern of Wrath and Anger.
Okay, I see. What do you guys do you guys have a response to all those racers who are saying that you guys in particular, DeadandDoom and Ventrua, shouldn't be able to party up together? You think you're gonna, for the future races, stand together or maybe look for some other teammates?
No, I'm happy with playing with Ventrua, so...
And I don't think it was like so like I thought that Goratha and Waggle have like a really good chance of beating us. I just think they like made a mistake in the banning phase. Like other than that, like I think they are good enough to beat us on like a good run easily.
Were you surprised that they were so close? It did seem pretty tight for a minute there.
Yeah, our Act 1 was like pretty slow. Especially my Open Prison was just awful, so we had a slow brew this time. But
Oh, okay.
our Act 2 and then actual lab were really solid, so we ended up having a pretty good time.
Yeah, you had a lot of damage there. So overall, you were expecting to have the lead from the beginning, or were you maybe anticipating that they're going to be doing better in Act 1 or something?
Well, they didn't have Frost... Oh wait, no, Goratha had Frostbomb, I think, so... No, it just... Act 1 just comes down to layout, really. It's very RNG based.
All right, and just a real quick last question. When it comes to making the decision of whether you're going to be running and the other player is going to be XPing, did you guys think about a strategy where both of you are running and possibly mitigating that RNG of possible bad layouts, or is it overall just better to have one player gain more XP while the other one is progressing to Brutus?
It sometimes did that in Act 2, but in Act 1 it's probably not worth it, since like even if bad layouts, Shadow is still faster than Duelist is. So there's like no point in both of them running, and like the Duelist just EXPs. But in Act 2, like especially in Valorant, we like in previous runs we both ran them just to see who gets better layout.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate those juicy tips that we can all apply to our gameplay. It's cool to see that you guys have practiced for this sort of stuff.
Very interesting information there. Thank you, guys, and congratulations on a damn fine victory, and thank you for all of the entertainment for this weekend of racing.
Thank you for hosting the event. It was fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Cheers. Thank you, guys. All right, Mr. Rise QT, that does sadly bring us to the end of our racing weekend. The end of our weekend casting together, though. I'm sure we'll have another opportunity to cast together again in the future. So thank you very much for joining me.
Hey, thanks very much. It was a lot of pleasure to cast these events and watch all of these top racers. It's been extra fun to see how people are evolving, and especially from this weekend, a little bit of a revival of that party racing that I'm sure a lot of the Path of Exile players who aren't maybe necessarily interested in participating in races can apply to a league start or a possible upcoming 1 month event. So very, very cool. And thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. It was a pleasure casting with you. And yeah, I loved the 2v2 races as well. I had a lot of fun casting this. And I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching this. And I look forward to handing off the more stressful side of organizing things to Havoc next weekend so that I can just sit back, chillax, and cast.
Yeah, that's a solid idea, I think. Yeah, for sure.
Well, guys.
Havoc, we need you back.
Yes, come back, Havoc. Alrighty. Well, thank you, Rise. And thank you, everybody. That's going to be it for us for now. Enjoy some outro music. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
No scams. You can get your Rashids. Here you go. Ruined. Uh-oh, it's the short version. Oh, what do I do? That's all right. I'll just jump backwards. Here we go. Ready? There you go. No one can tell. I'm sorry. It's my second day. Give me a break. By the way, have you guys heard of this Ziggy D stream? Havoc, you have to host someone because I don't have control. Bye, guys. Bye.